So I was surprised when I opened my Zoom room. All I saw on my calendar entry that Patty made when she did the schedule was my client's first name. I didn't know who she was. She came on camera and it was, oh, it's you. It was somebody that I know well. She and her partner had babysat our dogs in our RV for us once when we were in their area and wanted to go for a camping trip. So I knew her only as another medium colleague of mine's partner. So, and we'd talked, and when she babysat the dogs, and we'd seen each other at several events, but I really didn't know her personal life. But I thought, oh, wow, you're my client. This will be interesting, especially because I know your partner, who is a very good medium, is going to watch this whole video. So it's one of those slight pressure readings, but you just listen to the left brain and the ego and say, thank you very much. You go sit aside. We don't need that kind of commentary. We know Spirit's here and isn't going to let us down. And they did not at all let us down. She provided feedback right away, but then when she and my medium friend watched the whole thing, they just had so much fun remembering and realizing what some of the things were, but some were very obvious, such as her grandmother came in and jumped ahead of everybody else, because that's exactly what she would have done in real life. And I love how we do maintain our personalities and our pushiness or our quietness across the veil. It comes through that way in readings. I actually got her mother by name, which I don't always get the names, but when it's very important, it comes through that way. She said it was very interesting that when I brought through her brother who passed, both she and her partner noticed that my facial expressions changed and his personality came completely through in my mannerisms and the way I was moving my face, which I found really fascinating. That's because we merge completely with another spirit, with their energy field, and become as one. And so you start acting like them, which I love. I love the part that she said, my dad and my grandfather told you that they were real storytellers, and they were, but they wanted to make the point, then they did, that they always told their stories exactly the same every time. That's an interesting specific detail that they got through. And she said, what's funny is she and her partner had just mentioned that trait the previous weekend when talking about them. Isn't that cool? So what does that show? They were listening in on the conversation and brought it up again. Let's see. Oh, when I was talking to her mother in spirit, her mother said, I said, I'm supposed to tell you these lyrics. I was lost, but now I'm found. She means it literally across the veil. She's found her true home, and clearly her faith was important to her, but there was a further meaning to that. Amazing Grace was her favorite song, and that's a lyric from Amazing Grace. So I didn't know that. She didn't remember it till her partner reminded her. So very cool. Got heart palpitations from how her mother died, and then an adopted mother came in and told me she loved bluegrass music and had a wood fire stove. And indeed, she played bluegrass in a band with a stand-up bass, the really big one, and did have wood smoke coming out of her chimney all the time. So very cool evidence. The main goal of mediumship, of course, is to show that life is eternal, but we call it the continuity of consciousness. It's uninterrupted, our awareness that we exist. Maybe it seems interrupted, just like our awareness does when we sleep. But as soon as you become aware that you're across the veil, it's a continuation of life, love, and full expression. And she said that because her partner is a medium and she lives with her, they know about the continuity of consciousness. But she said, and I want to quote this here, please know that the messages and evidence you brought through were amazing and significant, and let me feel like I was in the same room with my loved ones. I often feel them around me, but sitting with you and spirit was on a whole different level. I loved hearing that feedback because it's something I don't often think about, because when you merge with the spirits as a medium, of course, you know they're right here. That's why these conversations are taking place. So for her to say it felt like they were right here in the same room with me, we say that in human terms, but it's because they are. And it's not just when you're with a medium. I really want you all to understand that. That's why I share these stories. So you can turn to your side right now, because the loved ones you've been missing as I tell these stories, are right there with you. Your thoughts and your love for them, and perhaps even your grief, keeps them closer energetically, and you're not keeping them from anything. Sanaya wants me to make sure to tell you that.